Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing okay. Today I'm doing my first ever testing video. I'm testing the brand MUA Cosmetics. They are a very cheap brand here in the UK. I don't know how available they are in other countries, but they are incredibly available here. They are sold in Superdrug, and this is a full face I created. You're about to see me test all the products and see what I think of them all, and I will be doing a full wear test for this makeup. I'm actually about to run out and do my food shop, so I'll be wearing a mask. I'll also be eating because that's what people do during the day, and we'll see how it all lasts, and I'll do a few check-ins throughout the day. Just to say, I bought all these products myself. I'm not yet in a position where brands are sending me stuff, so yeah, bought all these products myself. I bought them in Superdrug, and I do get a student discount in Superdrug, and they did have 3 for 2 on all of these products. So I think for me it cost maybe £34, and then at full price without any discounts or deals I think it comes to £55. For a full face of makeup, I don't think that's that bad. If you want to see how I got this look and what I think of all the products, please just keep on watching. Thanks. Okay, so bare face. The only thing I have on this is my normal skincare routine, so toner, spot treatment, eye cream, and then I also have on the Bondi Sands Face SPF because I wear SPF every day because I don't want wrinkles, and Sophie's taught me that. I'm gonna chuck on the dreaded headband again, and I think I'm gonna start with my eyes today. Oh, first I should probably mention the products that I've used by MUA before. So I actually have 2 products by them. I have one of their highlighters. It's the Undress Your Skin Shimmer Highlighter in the shade Iridescent Gold. I love this highlighter. These highlighters, they have an entire range, are amazing. They are all beautiful and they have so many different colours you could choose from, but today I did pick up a different highlighter in different packaging, so I'm hoping they're not the same formula so I can test a different formula. But yeah, these are really good. I will say, if you have them, they sometimes have like a hard coating over them, so just use your fingers to rub that off and get underneath that, and then the pigment is really there. And then I also have one of the Velvet Lip Lacquers. I didn't see these when I went to go buy this makeup, so I don't know if they've repackaged it, but this formula is really nice. I love this colour as well. It's a burnt orange. I did pick up a different lip product today in a different colour, and I think it's a different formula, but I guess we'll see when I get to it. Also, I'm pretty sure at some point in my past I've used their basic pressed powder and their stick concealer. I'm not a massive fan of stick concealers, but it was 90p, so if you wanted a cheap stick concealer I would definitely recommend it. And in terms of the pressed powder, from what I can remember, it was quite good. I owned both of those back when I was in high school and, you know, didn't want to spend loads of money on makeup. But today I picked up their loose setting powder, so we'll give this a try instead. Okay, I am gonna slightly cheat to start off with, but it's not really a cheat. I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Prime and Lock Eye Primer. MUA Cosmetics doesn't do an eye primer, or at least my Superdrug didn't have one. And if I'm gonna use an eyeshadow palette, I'm gonna use a primer with it, so it makes sense for me to use this because this would be how I would use it every day anyway, so there's no point testing it in a way that I wouldn't normally use it. So I'm gonna use this because I would normally do that. Also, none of these products come with a mirror, so I'm just using my Summer in Saint Tropez BH Cosmetics palette as a mirror, but I promise all the products are MUA. Okay, primed. I picked up the MUA Professional Tropical Ocean, yeah, eyeshadow palette. This is the biggest palette they do. It was £8. I know they do smaller palettes. They do a 6-pan, and I'm pretty sure they do maybe 12-pan, I don't know. But they do smaller palettes that are much more concise, but I picked up this one because I wanted a colourful palette, obviously, but also this one, I just think I could get a lot of use out of it. I think I'm going to stick to the pinks and the purples today because I think that'll match the lip colour I've got best. But I do love blue and greens, and if this is a good palette, you will definitely see it used on my Instagram page. Okay, the shades don't have names, so I think I'm gonna have to show you which one I'm using. So I think I'm going to start with this colour right here. Well, I mean, it's got pigment. Well, I mean, it's quite pigmented. The colour's quite nice. However, it's not as dark as I would thought it was going to be. And in general, this palette doesn't go very dark. So I don't know how darker skin people would work with this palette. But, I mean, it's pigmented. It's working fine. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with this pink shade here. I am getting a little bit of kickback in the pan, but personally that doesn't really bother me. So long as it performs on the eyes, that's absolutely fine. See, that's another incredibly pigmented shade, so much so that I think it's taken over that purple a little bit, but I can go back in and fix that in a moment. Okay, next I'm a little bit stuck for what colour to go for. I think I might take it just a little bit peachy. I'll go for this shade. Okay, that shade isn't as pigmented, but it is a lighter shade, so it's kind of what I expected. It was quite nice for blending out the pink. I think now all I'm going to do is just go back through those colours and get the blend how I want it. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with that blend right now. I will come back to it once I've got my base on and do the lower lash line and everything like that. But now for the lid shade, I think I'm going to go for this colour here. It's very pretty. It's sort of a pink with almost like a bluey purple reflect. I think I am just going to wet it a little bit, and I'm just going to use the setting spray that I'm going to be using later. Well, that's a nice mist. I'm just going back in with a bit more of this purple just to sort of fix the edge blending. Okay, so I think that's the eyes done for now. I will come back to them and do liner and mascara and everything, but I'll do that later on. I haven't done anything too crazy elaborate. I know it's bright colours, but that's pretty standard for me. But I haven't done a cut crease or anything like that. But I quite like it. I think the colours are really nice. I kind of wish the palette went a little bit darker in terms of colours. I do like to really deepen up my outer corner and things like that. But overall, the shadows worked really well. The ones I've used were pigmented. The shimmer is stunning. I'm actually obsessed with it. It's so pretty. But yeah, the ones I used were really, really nice. I think if I do a look on Instagram, I'll try and use the blues and the greens, although I do use blue and green a lot on Instagram. I'm sorry if you follow me over there and you're sick of it, but I do just love using them on my eyes. And then obviously I will try and use the pinks and the oranges a little bit more, but overall pretty happy with this look. There was a little bit of fallout in the pan, and there's a tiny bit of fallout on my face just from the shimmer shade, but overall performed really, really well. Not bad for £8, I would say. Okay, so I think I'm going to move on to my base now, and the first product I have is the MUA Pro Base Mattifying Flawless Primer with added vitamin E and soothing spherical powder particles. I did not read that when I bought it. This was £4, and I think they have like 5 different types of this, so illuminating ones, hydrating ones, all those other things. But I went for mattifying because that's what I would normally go for. Oh, okay, that is thicker than I was expecting. It does smell like something, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. It's quite a sweet smell. I think I'm just gonna keep this to the areas of my face that get quite oily. I don't want to put this everywhere. Okay, I think that looks alright. I was wondering whether or not it would interfere with my SPF that I have on, because that is quite shiny. And in terms of mattifying, I think it has mattified the centre of my face a little bit. I haven't put it everywhere just because I think my skin's a little bit combination, so the centre of my face gets a lot more oily than the perimeters, and therefore I don't really want to interfere with the skin on the perimeters of my face. But it hasn't balled up, it hasn't gone weird at all. Can't really say much about it just yet. I guess we'll see how it all lasts throughout the day. For foundation, I picked up the Pro Base Long Wear Matte Finish Foundation. Full coverage long wear formula with a matte finish. Blends easily for shine control that lasts all day. I'll be the judge of that. I got the shade 102. I did check online while I was in Superdrug, and I checked their website to see what they recommended, and this was their lightest neutral shade, so we'll see. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. It's on a spatula, which I wasn't expecting. It looks very, very thick. I think I'm going to do one half with a sponge and one half with a brush. I do typically tend to go for sponges, but if a foundation works better with a brush, I'll use a brush. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I think that's an alright shade. Actually, that looks like it really does match my neck. I have no idea how much to use, so... I guess we'll go with that much, wait. So I'm going to do this half of my face with a sponge. You know what, that's not bad. I think it looks a bit more flawless on camera than it does in real life. I don't think this is completely full coverage because I do have some blemishes on my cheek here. I always have blemishes on my cheeks, so I can still see them, but the colour match is pretty good. You know, if this lasts a decent amount of time, this could become a new favourite. Okay, and for the brush side, I just have this brush from a 6+ collection. I'm pretty sure these are available on Amazon, but it's just a flat sort of buffing brush. It looks a little bit out of shape actually. There we go. Okay, I think it works fine with both, but I think I just prefer it with a sponge. So I'm just gonna sort of pat over this side as well. Okay, overall I don't think that's that bad. Like I said, I don't think it's completely full coverage. I think my Rimmel Stay Matte, whatever. I think my Rimmel full coverage foundation, I can't remember the name, but I think that's a lot more full coverage than this. But considering this was £5, yeah, I don't think I said that. This is £5. I'm not mad at it, you know, because that's like half the price of the Rimmel one. And it is, I would say it's medium to high. I feel like a lot of people would wear this and think it's high coverage, but for me it's not. You can still see sort of this mark poking through and some of my blemishes, but overall it's not that bad. I do think it looks a little bit weird on any dry patches, so maybe if you have dry skin this isn't the one for you, but then again, if you have dry skin, would you really have chosen a mattifying primer and a mattifying foundation? Maybe not, but yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe with this foundation, for me, a hydrating primer would be a little bit better just around my drier patches, although I did moisturise this morning, so that shouldn't be an issue, but it is, and there we go. Next up is concealer, and this cost me £3. I went for the lightest shade, which is in 100, and it's pretty much white, and I've just texted their website and I'm pretty sure they have around 20 something shades, which isn't terrible. However, I don't think there are a lot of darker shades, which is a bit disappointing. So yeah, hopefully a lot of people will be able to find their shades, but I know not everybody will, which, come on brands, just cater for everyone, it's so simple. So just a standard small doe foot. Wow, that is white. I obviously didn't get a shade that's going to cover my blemishes, so I'm just going to use it to highlight the areas that I want. Okay, so I actually think that was quite a nice concealer. It blended out really easily, it was very lightweight. However, I don't think it has much coverage, so I think if I were to use this in the future, I would use a higher coverage concealer and then just use this in the areas I want to highlight. So please don't worry, any makeup that I buy I will find a use for. I'm not just going to add it to landfill because I don't want to do that. So overall, this isn't too bad. I don't know how well it would cover blemishes, but for what I used it for, it's absolutely fine. Okay, time for powder, and this was £4. It is their loose setting powder Invisible Silk, so I'm hoping it's going to be invisible. Like I said, I have used their pressed powder before, just their standard one, and from what I can remember, it was absolutely fine. Wow, that is very white. I'm really hoping this is invisible. It's very finely milled, it's kind of going everywhere. Okay, so I've kind of put a light-ish amount on my face. I did go a little bit too heavy on my forehead, but I just used that to then do the rest of my face. My forehead is looking a little bit dry and my under eyes aren't looking the best, but my skin does feel completely not tacky, which is quite nice, so I think it did a good job. I think I will still use this, just maybe with different concealers and foundations, just to sort of test everything out. I will test them with different products, but overall I'm not mad at how my base is looking right now, so let's carry on. Next up is blush, and this was £3, and this is the Blushed Matte Blush Powder in Rose Tea. I went for this shade because in my mind I like to go for blushes that are the colour that I would go if I sunburn, because to me that's then a natural colour that I would go, and therefore the blush is a natural colour for my skin tone. From what I saw in my Superdrug, they had 6 different shades. They might have more online. Some of them had shimmer in, some of them didn't. I went for a matte one. And look at the cute little flower embossing. I hope you can see that. It's so cute, so I'm hoping this works really well. Okay, so that blush is definitely a lot more natural than what I usually use for Instagram or YouTube, but I can still use this as a blush I would wear to work because it is just such a nice colour, and it has given me a little bit of blush. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but I do quite like the colour. It is quite nice. We'll definitely wear this for work. It was £3, so I'm not going to complain. Next up is bronzer. This was also £3. It is the Bronzed Matte Bronzing Powder in Solar 110. It says talc free, whatever that means. And it looks a lot like Ofra. If you can see the embossing, it's very much like Ofra, which is, I mean, you do you, MUA, or you do Ofra, I guess. I like the colour. It looks like a pretty good colour for me. Again, in my Superdrug they had 6 different shades. Some had shimmer, some didn't. So I went for a matte one. Because this isn't a contour powder, I'm not going to be specifically contouring with it, but I will just take a little bit of it down the sides of my nose just to sort of make sure my nose has a bit of colour on it, because I think it looks a bit odd if it doesn't. So not too bad. Again, not as pigmented as I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. I feel like this is a bit more buildable than the blush was, so you could build it up if you wanted to. And I think it has given me a nice sort of sun-kissed sort of look about it. I don't know how well it's coming across on camera because natural lighting is washing me out, but that's fine. It does look nice in real life, I promise. It hasn't gone patchy or anything, it hasn't clung to specific spots. overall I quite like this, and I think this will definitely go into like my everyday sort of rotation of bronzers. Next up is highlight, and like I said, I have used one of their highlighters before and I really liked it, but instead I picked up this one. It is the Light Lustre Highlight Kiss in Golden Kisses. They did have a darker version of this in my Superdrug, but obviously I went for the lighter one, and this was £5. And I think this shade is going to be a bit too dark for me, but I can always use it on my eyelids. I'm fine with doing that. So realistically, £5 for 2 highlighters is pretty good going, and then I get an extra eyeshadow shade in there as well. Not too bad. I will swatch these for you. Okay, so there are the 3 highlighters, and look how beautiful they are. That first shade here is a bit more crumbly. That first shade here is a bit more crumbly than the others, but that's fine. A little bit of setting spray will fix that. But they are all just so beautiful. Like I said, I think the first 2 are going to suit me fine, but then this one might be a little bit too dark. But it's such a beautiful shade, I will happily use that on my eyes in the future. I think for today I'm going to go in with this shade on my face, and then this shade on my inner corners and my brow bone. Okay, so overall I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, the golden shade is a little bit more crumbly, but a little bit of setting spray should fix that. The inner corner shade is beautiful. I cannot wait to use that all over my face. Overall, very happy with it. As I'm sure you can see, it is very reflective. I hope you can see that. The sun is not playing ball. I think now I'm going to do my brows, because I've just realised I haven't done them yet. I look a little bit crazy. So I picked up this brow pencil. It is the Brow Define Micro Precision Brow Pencil. It has a spoolie on one end, and then just a skinny brow pencil on the other. A lot like the Benefit Precise for my brow, and a lot of other brow pencils. I feel like every brand has one of these right now. I got the shade Mid Brown, so hopefully this will work for me. Okay, I realise my brows don't match because they never do, but I'm very happy with this. This cost £2.79, and considering that the Benefit brow pencil is like 20 something pounds, this might replace it. I think the colour is pretty alright. I think it matches my natural hair colour quite nicely. However, I do also think that my brow hairs are a bit cooler than my head hair, so it matches my head hair quite nicely, but unfortunately when I do a close-up you'll see that it doesn't quite match my exact brow hairs, but that's fine. My brows are not done very well. I'm not good at doing brows. They're not my favourite part of makeup, so they're not done great, but that's on me, not the brow pencil. The pencil itself was very creamy and very pigmented, as I'm sure you saw. I really like this. You'll definitely be seeing more of this. I'm just going to sort out my lower lash line, and then we'll come back, do some setting spray and move on to everything else. And to do my lower lash line, I'm just going to start with that purple shade that we used earlier and just sort of bring that halfway across my lower lash line. And then we go in with the pink, and I'm just going to wrap that around the purple and just bring it slightly further in. And then finally back in with that peach, and again wrapping that around and just bring it right into the inner corner. I will also just fix around the edges where I did my base and things like that, and just fix the blending in general for the entire eye look. Okay, so I think that'll do for now, and I think what I'm going to do is use some setting spray. So we've already seen this. It's the Pro Base Mattifying Fixing Spray. Lightweight mist that keeps skin looking perfectly mattified all day. Fixes makeup in place whilst preventing excess shine for an oil-free finish. For best results, apply at the end of your makeup application. Yeah, I'm going to do it now because I have to do liner and mascara, and I don't want those to run, and that can sometimes happen if I do my setting spray afterwards. So we're going to give it a go now. We've already seen that it has a very nice mist. In fact, I don't even think you can see that, but it's very fine, and it smells quite nice. I'm not sure what it smells like though, but it's not a bad smell. You can barely feel that hitting your face. It's quite nice. If you don't like scents, you're not gonna like that because it is quite strong. Yeah, I think that has helped to just bring some moisture back to my face. I know it is a mattifying setting spray, but that has helped the highlighter just settle a little bit more, and I think it does just look a little bit better now. My forehead's still looking a little bit dry, but overall, I don't think this is a bad base. I think this is fine. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do lips next, and I have two products. I have the MUA Intense Colour Lip Liner in the shade Couture. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've heard such good things about these lip liners, and they cost £2, and they do quite a few shades. So if they are as good as I've heard people say they are, I'll probably pick them up in a lot more shades because I don't own a lot of lip liners, and I think they definitely come in handy. And to go with that, for the lip colour, I have the Velvet Matte Longwear Liquid Lip in the shade Dash. I think these will go together quite nicely, I'm hoping, and I think they'll match the eyes quite nicely. Also, this is a shade that I will wear quite regularly. It's very similar to the lip colour I was wearing in one of my recent videos. You'll see this colour quite often. This and burnt orange are the colours I tend to go for, as well as like nudie pink shades. So yeah, hopefully I will like this and I will get a lot of use out of it. Pigmented. You know what, that was creamy and pigmented and easy to use and pretty much everything you would want out of a lip pencil. So this is pretty good. All those good things I've heard were clearly pretty true. Really nice shade. I think it's very pretty. It's something I would wear quite often. It didn't exactly match the lip liner, but that's fine. Yeah, I think it's pretty. We'll see if it dries down completely matte, but while that is drying down, I will do my liner and lashes. So for my liner, I picked up the Eye Define Soft Tip Felt Liner in black. Wow, okay, that's quite a long point. Okay, so that did not go perfectly, but I feel like that's kind of my fault. I'm used to using the NYX Epic Ink Liner, which is more of a paintbrush sort of nib instead of a felt tip. But it is very black. It was pretty easy to use considering I'm not used to using them. Yeah, very black, didn't dry out, the nib didn't get covered in eyeshadow or anything like that. I think this is pretty good. And this was, again, £2.79, which pretty good for a black eyeliner. I will happily repurchase this. And finally we have mascara. They did have quite a few different mascaras, but I picked up the Amplify Statement Lash in black. It says full volume lash effect. Again, I will be the judge of that. It's sort of a very thin, skinny wand, plastic bristles, short bristles as well. I quite like that because it's really good for getting in there. Okay, so I personally like mascaras that give me quite a bit of length, and I don't think it's done that. I don't think it's given me much curl either. I typically use the Bad Girl Bang by Benefit. This, I did get some on my lower lash line. I will fix that just in case you're worried. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It's very black, but I don't think it's done much to my lashes other than cover them in black. Also the wand, the bristles are very, very pointy and quite sharp, and it wasn't very comfortable to use, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be a new favourite of mine. So this is the finished look. The lipstick has completely dried down. Transfer proof, great. I'm quite a fan of the eyes, and I like a lot of the base products, although I will just quickly zoom you in so you can see what my face looks like now. Okay, so I've just zoomed you in. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm talking about on my forehead. If you can't, I'm really sorry, but it's just a bit flaky and dry, which I'm not a fan of, and my under eyes also don't look the best that they could. The eyeshadow, I'm a massive fan of. I quite like this. That, you can see the sort of shift in that shimmer shade. It's so pretty. You can also see the mascara hasn't really done anything. I don't think my lashes are that bad on their own, and it doesn't take much for a mascara to really give them that lift and separation and lengthening that I want. This mascara just hasn't done that, unfortunately. The lip colour, I'm kind of in love with it, you know. But yeah, the base looks really nice. I'm quite a fan of it. I'm sorry, you can kind of see that I need to reshave my brows. And I think you can also kind of see now that my brow hairs are slightly cooler than that brow pencil, even though the brow pencil matches my hair colour pretty nicely. But I'm a massive fan of it. The eyeliner is not great, I apologise, but overall, not a bad face of makeup. So I'm gonna wear this all day. It's now currently 1 o'clock, which is quite late, but I can wear this till like 9-10 p.m. That's absolutely fine with me. Right now, the products I'm really liking are the eyeshadow palette. I think this is great for £8. The lip colour, massive fan. Lip liner, massive fan. The blush, I really like this. It's a really nice shade. And the brow pencil has to be the winner of this video so far. So we'll see how it looks in a few hours. Like I said, it is just gone 1 o'clock now. It is 8 minutes past 1. So I'll see you in a few hours. Okay, so I am back from my food shop. I've also had lunch. It is now 10 to 4, so I've had this makeup on for almost 3 hours. Yep, I think that's about right. And it does look a little bit different. Like I said, I've been out, I've worn a face mask, I've come home, I've had my lunch. I had a nice Subway for lunch, which was really nice. Let's zoom you in and see how it's all looking. Okay, so this is how it's looking. The eyeshadow is starting to separate just on this eye, but I feel like that happens to me with every eyeshadow. I don't know why. It's rubbed off a little bit around my nose, but my nose has been running today. My nose runs all the time, I can't help it. But yeah, my lipstick has worn off a little bit. Hot. It's also smudged a little bit under here. Let me just fix that. There we go, easy fix. And I will say, typically with lipsticks of any kind, I'm pretty okay with touching them up after I eat. I'm not going to do that today because I want to see how it lasts. Oh god, no. Can you see that? Can you see that? There's like really bad dry patches. Oh no. That's not good. However, I will say this part of my face has been incredibly dry recently, so I feel like it's more my face, but the foundation is exaggerating it a little bit. I think you can just about see it there, really flaky. Oh, that's not a good look. I would say for 3 hours worth of wear, this isn't that bad. However, when you consider the fact that for a standard work day, I would be wearing makeup from, I don't know, like 8 AM till 6 PM, that's quite a long time, and for it to be looking like this already, and for it to be having so many issues with dryness, which I didn't think would be an issue because there's some other dry patches just on my cheek here. I don't know, maybe I should have used a hydrating primer instead of a mattifying one. If I looked like this in work, I wouldn't be too upset about it. I would be pretty okay with it. Like I said, I would touch up the lip, and then other than that, I'd be pretty alright with it. Pretty okay with how I look. I'm going to keep this on for a lot longer. Like I said, probably wear it till about 10 PM tonight. But this is how I'm looking right now. see you in a few hours. Okay, so it is now a lot later. It is currently 9:15. I don't know if you can see that, probably not. But I'm gonna take this off now. I need to take my contacts out, my eyes are getting tired. I don't think I've had much change since my last check-in. I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more oily on my forehead, but that's only happened in the last hour or so from what I've noticed. Let me zoom you in. Lipstick wore off after I had my lunch, but if I was at work, I would have touched it up after lunch anyway. In terms of the brows, they're still on. My eyeliner is still on. It hasn't smudged or anything. I have purposely tried to not rub my eyes all day. It is a task. My forehead is still looking a little bit weird and flaky and dry, even though my oils are starting to come through, which should have helped a little bit. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. I think the conclusion we can draw from this is it's not for dry skin, and if you have dry patches, it's going to cling to them. So maybe this is just better suited to oily skin in general. The eyeshadow is still looking okay. The mascara has transferred a little bit, but not as badly as my Benefit one. Overall, I think for 8 hours worth of wear, this isn't that bad. I've had foundations that have done worse than this, I feel, and especially considering how this foundation was £5, I'm definitely not mad at it, and I will be wearing it a lot more in the future. I will just probably try to use a hydrating primer in future. Also, the lipstick wasn't too drying. It was relatively comfortable all day, so that's pretty good. I probably will pick this up in more shades because I quite like it. MUA Cosmetics is definitely a brand you should consider checking out, especially considering the price. It's so affordable and so easily available here in the UK with being available in Superdrug. And I think my top 3 products are the brow pencil, the lipstick and the eyeshadow palette. And then I would say my bottom 3 products, definitely the mascara. Probably the concealer, it just wasn't my favourite. It didn't have much coverage to it. And then I don't really know what else. I don't think there is a third. I think I liked everything else. Okay, so that was a video testing MUA Cosmetics. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do give it a like and drop me a comment down below. Let me know what other brands you want me to test. I'm thinking starting with the cheaper drugstore brands, just because personally I would rather test cheaper brands and tell you guys how to save money than test really expensive brands and tell you to spend 20 quid on a lipstick. So let me know what you want me to do next. I'm thinking maybe collection. I'm also working up to an I Heart Revolution full face-ish because they don't do a full face. But yeah, let me know down below any other brands you think I should test. But I think that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!